Alright lads and ladies, welcome back to the channel. If you're feeling a bit raw after that Manchester derby, well, you're not alone. And as usual, our beloved Roy Keane didn't exactly mince his words, did he? After watching that goalless stalemate at Old Trafford, and let's be honest, it was hardly a classic, Keane came out absolutely swinging about our forward options. The big man's gone and said what many of us have been thinking for months. Højlund and Zirkzee simply aren't cutting it for a club of our stature. 6 Premier League goals between them at Manchester United. It's nowhere near good enough, and Keane knows it. The couple of strikers United have at the club are not good enough for United, he said, with that classic Keane stare that could freeze hell over. And can we really argue with him? Every time I watch us play, I'm screaming for someone, anyone, to just show that killer instinct in front of goal. What's particularly concerning is how Keane's highlighted our overall mentality. When he mentioned how players were applauding after a draw against City, that really struck a nerve with me. Remember when a draw at Old Trafford was considered 2 points dropped, not 1 gained? The standards have slipped dramatically. Keane didn't hold back on the leadership question either. He was asking whether Maguire, Casemiro, and Bruno are getting a grip of the dressing room. Are they demanding more? Are they setting the example? Because from what we're seeing week in, week out, something isn't clicking. Now, Amarim's got his philosophy and we need to give him time. But Keane's point about winning football matches being the ultimate philosophy, you can't argue with that, can you? That's what we've built our entire history on. When Roy mentioned how he never sat down with his teammates discussing philosophy, but instead focused on finding different ways to win. That's the United DNA we're missing. It wasn't always pretty in those glory days, but by God they found a way. The most damning part was Keane saying he doesn't see United cracking the top 5 or 6 next season. That's brutal, but is he wrong? We're 13th in the table, 35 points behind Liverpool. 35 points! That's not just a gap, that's a canyon. So what do you think? Is Keane right about our strikers? Does Amarim need to prioritize results over his philosophy? Or do we just need to be patient through what's clearly a painful rebuild? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's keep the conversation going. Because if there's one thing we United fans are good at, it's passionate debate. I'll see you in the next one. Glory, glory, Man United.